Advocate Abhay Apte is Pune's best noted lawyer and is a multi-faceted personality. Besides being such a successful lawyer, he is also involved in many other areas like sports and education. As a lawyer, he has shifted his focus with the family-related issues. On the other hand, he has also worked as a president of Maharashtra Cricket Association and also worked on different committees of BCCI. So let's welcome Advocate Abhay Apte sir on Think Talks podcast show. Do enjoy. Advocate Abhay Apte sir, welcome on the Think Talks podcast show. कैसे हो आप?
First class. Nice to see you. I always like, working with youngsters.
Yes.
That gives me a sense that I am also little young.
Of course. And sir, जब भी पहली बार मैं आपसे मिला, I had that vibe. मुझे एक ऐसी vibe मिली. होता है ना कि भले आप 70 साल की उम्र के हो, 80 साल के हो, but there are people who say I am 70 years young, 80 years young, 50 years young. तो उस टाइप की वाइब मुझे आपसे मिली that you are a youngster.
थोड़ा you can be little kind with me. मैं अभी तक 70-80 नहीं हुआ हूँ.
Just an example. And finally we are doing the show.
Yes.
बहुत ही ज़्यादा हमने उसके ऊपर वर्कआउट किया है. We are gonna explore topics about the laws and also the cricket part, education part. So podcast बहुत जबरदस्त होने वाला है. So let's start with the show.
Yeah, sure.
Are you ready for it?
I'm sure. I'm ready.
Okay, so sir, जब हम लॉ के बारे में बात करते हैं, जब कोर्ट्स के बारे में बात करते हैं, जुडिशियल सिस्टम के बारे में बात करते हैं, इसमें बहुत ही ज्यादा फैक्टर्स आते हैं. जैसे कि सिविल कोई एक फैक्टर हो गया, मतलब एक कैटेगरी हो गई, दूसरी क्रिमिनल कैटेगरी, तीसरी फैमिली कैटेगरी. यू आर द एक्सपर्टीज इन द फैमिली कैटेगरी, राइट? सो उसके ऊपर जब हम बात करते हैं सर, एक बेसिक सवाल हर एक इंसान के अभी दिमाग में आता है कि जो हर एक रिलेशनशिप्स में इंसान आज जा रहा है, तो उसमें एक ही प्रॉब्लम वो फेस कर रहा है, दैट इज उसको डर लग रहा है. क्यों डर लग रहा है? बिकॉज अगर हम पास्ट देखें एंड प्रेजेंट को कंपेयर करें, जो भी डिवोर्स के केसेस है अभी इन रिलेशनशिप, इन मैरिजेस, दोज आर स्पाइकिंग, नॉट राइजिंग, दे आर स्पाइकिंग. So what are your views on it? क्यों इतने relationships फेल हो रहे हैं basically and divorce के cases बढ़ रहे हैं?
Thank you, Koustubh. This is a very important subject that you have touched. People generally try to avoid this because this is a bit painful.
Okay.
Even I had a lot of practice in all other fields and people used to tell me, boss, don't go there. It is very painful. But it is very much part of our society.
Right.
So 2-3 things I would like to tell you. First is that, there is no doubt that the cases of divorce are increasing. But if you see, even earlier times, there were failed marriages. It is not that every marriage was working really well.
Right.
It was there.
Right.
But then, there was a system that once married, you should be married, and people were staying.
Right.
Of course, I don't want to say that now the same percentage of happiness and sorrow is there. No. The percentage of divorces have increased, and there are multiple reasons for that. One is that the people are shifting to metros, they are shifting to big cities.
Yes.
There are pressures of cities, there are pressures of work. They work in an environment where there are targets. They have to meet expenses. If they have to take a flat on rent, it is costing a lot.
Right.
School education is costing a lot. The jobs are always target oriented. So all this is creating a pressure.
Okay.
Plus the comfort that they are getting on the other side. So they do not want to wait. They do not want to show patience for adjustment. And relationship, the basic thing that you need is patience.
Right.
Of course, there are couples where they show patience and they still that failed. Secondly, the relationships slowly are becoming, unfortunately, not all, but transactional. In the sense that transaction is coming into the relationship.
Okay.
तू मुझे क्या देगा तो मैं तुझे क्या दूंगी. This type of relationship has started. There would be some pressing demands on them also that no, I have to survive, so I have to have this with me. Then earlier we used to say that there is a joint family, so everything is getting adjusted to the family. There are people who will mediate, there are people who will talk.
Right.
Now what has happened? The families are not joint families in a sense. But through technology, they are again joint families. So a boy in UK or US or a girl in Dubai or Australia is also in constant touch with the parents, and the advice is also pouring in. So all these things are there. And if you ask me one reason why it is spiking up is also this technology. Technology, because you see number of cases where a client will come and say कल मैंने उनका WhatsApp देखा तो उसमें फलाना फलाना messages थे, or somebody is putting this picture as a display picture. So many things are happening. So this technology is also, and then recording each other's conversation. All those things are happening. So technology can be used. It is a boom. But unfortunately, overuse of technology is also creating unrest.
So the youth is afraid of marriages. What do you think about it? Because due to this all, as you mentioned about the technology and everything.
Correct. No, you are on the right point. It is also said that whether this institution is in danger, whether people would like not to marry. I think this would be a bit extreme in the sense that there are some drawbacks in the system of marriage itself. But still, if you see broadly, people do believe in the system. But there are a lot of drawbacks, such as the traditions, the interference of the family members. Of course, you need their help when in crisis, but at some points it becomes a hindrance for a relationship. So people are now thinking, and basically because of the governance of law, that somebody will go to police, and if you are not working well, you have to go to court and spend a lot of years.
Right, exactly.
This is the fear which is there in the youth, in the minds. But still, you just watch around, and there are people who also believe in happy marriages. But one thing is very clear, that we will have to make sincere efforts to educate the youth, to look at their needs also, not only educate is one-sided view, and to see that we create better environment for them to live together. And I think today the counselors, the mediators, the psychiatrists, all of them are playing a big role.
Right,
and that will be done for next 2 decades, I believe.
Yes, so when we are talking about the marriage, sir, if two people are in a relationship, this is the basic thing, that there are disputes, there are arguments, there are ups and downs. So when these two persons are in relationship, are in one marriage, they are married, what are the causes, major causes of the marital disputes? Do you what you have observed?
This is what I told you, that with the time the reasons are changing.
Okay.
This is what I have said. In the sense, during maybe 40 years, 50 years, either the husband is drunk or he's a wife beater, those used to be the grounds.
Right.
Then slowly the time came when both of them are earning, both of them are working, but then whether the duties are being equally distributed, that became another issue. Then there was a distribution that family will be taken care by wife and earning will be done by husband. Yes. Now both of them are earning, and husbands are also participating in bringing up their children, which is quite heartening to see. So now, with all this, as I told you in the beginning itself, the patience, because you said ups and downs, you said dispute will be there. To overcome that, you need that patience. You need to control your impulse. You need to look at the broader picture. So that, of course, because of the life of entitlement that they live, because of the constant interference, the risk that they are taking outside, I think this is not there. This patience is not seen now. And of course, you can't blame them, because they live in the society of targets. They live in the society where, in the jobs where they are supposed to perform, otherwise they don't get money.
Okay.
So this has also come into their life, and as I said, transactions have also
balance
come.
Sheet.
Always trying to, because see, I always tell people that don't put targets in the relationship. Targets can be for sales, target can be for production, but not for relationship.
Right.
Because in the relationship, you never put a target of breaking it, but still it does happen. So don't put target for restoring it or to come out of it very swiftly, all those things. So I think, as I said, social media, lot of things, technology, lot of things are there which you will see. And that is why I said, every 10 years, the grounds are changing. There was a time when there used to be shares being procured and investments in stocks, and that used to be an issue. Now, looks like custody is a major issue,
Right.
especially those who have children. Both the parties would like to keep their claim on it, and how the access will take place. This is creating a lot of problems. So the things are changing with a change in time.
So do you think one of the major issue is कि जैसे एक घर में now there are two males are marrying each other. I mean,
Yeah.
though she's a female, but she's playing role of a male. जब एक घर में दो males है, so do you think that is a major issue because women are also working at a very high level. They are totally indulged in their professions and they are doing it passionately.
Yeah.
Because जैसे आपने mention किया कि कुछ साल पहले ऐसा नहीं था. Duties were distributed.
Yeah.
वो जो मेल होता है वो बाहर का हैंडल करेगा, फीमेल्स दे विल हैंडल द हाउस होल्ड थिंग्स एवरीथिंग. सो दैट वाज अ बैलेंस शीट. सो अभी when there are two males, so do you think that is a major one of the cause?
This can be one of the cause because as I said, that distribution is no more. So the girls are getting educated, and you also expect them to earn. It is not that
Yes,
you don't want to earn.
yes.
There will be very few people who will say that okay, you are educated but don't earn.
Right.
Or if they want to just see that there is no competition. So once they are doing that, and they are also required to do the household. But now, so taking your point further, what we need to do is that when there are two male, then they have to understand each other on the other side also. Like both of us are working, so both of us will do household, and both of us will. But then sometimes that attitude of a man and attitude of a lady will crop up.
Right.
So nature has also made them differently. So though you say there will be some conflicts, so both of them will have to understand that yes, she will be better off doing this work and he will be better off doing this work.
Okay.
But what you say is true. These issues are now cropping up.
Yes, and also another thing is dissolution of joint families. So how it is affecting overall marital status and everything.
See, I'll tell you something. For a very long time, it has been discussed that dissolution of joint families is the prime cause. It is true that in joint families, people used to stay together.
Yes.
So if there was some friction between two of them, there used to be brothers, sisters, siblings, even cousins, and all of them will come together. If one person have a temporary problem of job or temporary problem of health,
Yes.
the family used to come together and do it. So that support is not there. But then, in my opinion, the joint family exists in a very different form. How it is
How?
existing? It is still existing in a remote form. Like a couple is staying at a particular place, but when they come to us, that is what they tell us. They always say that no, there is a constant interference from the side of his parents or her parents,
Okay.
his mother or her mother.
Okay.
So that means that family is still surviving, but perhaps the only negative parts are surviving. But
Okay.
having said this, you will have to appreciate that it is only the parents who run for the delivery of daughters and daughter-in-laws.
Yes.
They go to establish their house, and both of them go and take a resort. They take the shelter of their parents only in case of difficulties. So I think a proper mix of both the generations, understanding of both the generations. That's why when there is a dispute between two parties, it is not only them who should be counseled.
right.
It is the entire family.
Okay.
Because everybody creates some issue.
Yes,
Everybody has to handle it very
Yes,
perfectly,
true.
and they have to work as a team. Then only it will work.
Okay. And also sir, as we are talking about the marital problems, एक सबसे कॉमन चीज फिर से पॉपअप होती है, एंड दैट इज अगर उन दोनों को कोई बच्चा हो या फिर दो तीन बच्चे हो, सो द थिंग इज they need to suffer. I feel they need to suffer when there are disputes between those two people. So what do you think? अगर एक है तो ठीक है, उसको और भी ज्यादा चैलेंजिंग है, दो तीन है तो उनको और भी ज्यादा चैलेंजिंग है, because they have to, there are three lives. So what do you think? ये सारे पूरे केमिस्ट्री में इनका क्या रोल प्ले है?
This is perhaps the most alarming question. Because, I feel the adults have their own issues. They have chosen to fight. They should not. But still, they are, I suppose, capable of taking care of themselves. When I look at the children, and there are many, I always feel that the children of the couple who are into strained relationship are the passengers in hijacked plane. Why I feel so? Because what is their fault? Their only fault is that they are born to the parents who have chosen to fight with each other. There will be some grounds for fight also. So now what happens to them? It is like getting ticket of a flight which gets hijacked. So what a passenger can do? Nothing.
Nothing.
Similarly, the children of such couple, so we could see in the code the plight. They know if you ask any of them, majority of them will say, I want both.
Yes, of course.
But here at times it is being used as a baggage, either with me or with you. There are a lot of times when it has been suggested that they should be given a separate lawyer so that they can voice, or somebody can try to see what is in their mind.
The child.
The child, because the child is very important, and now you are fighting for the child like a trophy. So I think this is the worst phase of a divorce petition, and they are really helpless. And at times there is a system saying that, oh, he is very matured, she is very matured. हमारा बच्चा बहुत matured है, हमारी बच्ची बहुत matured है. There are of 7, 8, 10 years, and people come and tell us, no, she behaves like 14, 15. So it is the pressure that you have put on them, or you are in a way killing their childhood and making them matured. So it is not something which is to be welcomed, it is something which is to be stopped, because what is their fault? And at least this part should be taken care of very well, and we need some system where we at least address this question. So this is the most alarming question, and that's why I always feel that they are like passengers sitting in the hijacked plane. I have been saying this at so many places, that this is how it is happening. Unfortunately, we have to come forward and save them, but then the battle is so high. That is why it is said that husband-wife relationship is intimate. It is not like a bank manager and borrower. So when relationship is intimate, the disputes are intense. So that is how the disputes are very intense. So either it will get completely settled or it will go on. So the children are the most important factors, and we have to be the society will have to take some measures to stop this.
And do you feel our law is biased towards one of the gender?
It is, yes, why you and I should say. This is something which the Honorable Supreme Court has also observed repeatedly.
Okay.
That some provisions of law are being grossly misused, or it is being misused. This is what has been observed. There were countries who had issued advisories that don't go and marry in India, your passport will be impounded, something like that. But I would like to shift to the next point, which is part of this point, I believe. Look, when you use the word misuse, there has to be some use of that. So the use is there, but the use is not available for those for whom the law is made. Okay. So in Marathi, I used to write column, and I had written Kaida ani Faida.
Okay.
So I have always felt, many a times I have felt, कि जिनके लिए कायदा है उनको उसका फ़ायदा नहीं मिलता, और कायदा ठीक है लेकिन उसका फ़ायदा अलग लोग उठा रहे हैं. So the policy is still today, I know your question that it is said that whether it is anti-men or whether it is like that, but still there are many women who are suffering in the rural areas.
Okay.
And the laws are addressed to that, and unfortunately that is not being taken. Their plight is still the same, because this law doesn't reach them, unfortunately. There are many provisions under the law, they are not in place, shelter homes, so many things are there. And let me tell you, you are on this point, that first we will have to understand what is the role of law in relationship matters.
Okay.
There can be a law, a securitization act, there can be a law of establishing your right of easement, all those things will be there. But here in relationship, you must understand the role of law. Now I'll ask you, I'll just give you a simple example. Do you know a law which will compel a husband or a wife to love each other? No. The law says if there is no love, if there is a hatred between the parties, you dissolve the marriage. Is there a law which will stipulate or which will compel a son to respect his old father? No. The law says forget about respect but pay him maintenance. Don't stay in his house. So basically in relationship, laws will have a very limited role.
Okay.
So people come to us and say that नहीं एक बार एक कुछ केस फाइल करेंगे बड़ा तो वो सीधा आ जाएगा. So we tell them वो कोई सीधा नहीं आता. Your marriage is broken then.
Okay.
Then don't come to us. Or come only when you have decided that you want to break it. So the point is the law should be used for the people for whom it has been enacted. And that is the basic issue. And that is why all those issues like misuse or, using it as a magic wand, all those things are coming. So, कायदा and फायदा is a very important concept.
True.
Yeah.
And और एक मैं आपको hot question पूछना चाहता हूँ, that is about the live-in relationships. So, are live-in relationships legal? And वो क्या अभी जैसे हम we are observing कि वो उसका जो count है वो बढ़ रहा है, and how the law are made for this relationships and everything.
Good. Being a youngster, I think you're on the right question. Something that is in the minds of youth. See, live-in relationship, the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act gives a reference to that. And even earlier, relationship which resembles to marriage was there. It is happening in metros. You cannot deny that the youngsters in metros are preferring to stay in relationship, live in relationship, or those who are already divorced. They are also preferring to stay in relationship. Yeah. They are divorced now. They don't want to get into the same procedure again, so they are doing it. There are also very senior couples who have now started staying in live-in because at a very later age, if somebody unfortunately passes away, then the spouse, it becomes very difficult for a single lady or a single man to survive. So in few cases, this is happening.
Okay.
But then if you see, I have interviewed many youngsters who express that no, we would like to stay into this relationship. So they want everything, like they want emotions, they want loyalty, they want dedication, they want attachment, they want trust. So then I said, what do you not want? They don't want law to come into play.
Okay.
Yeah, they feel that we don't want, once separated, we are separated. We don't want to run through the legal procedure. So in a very lighter vein, I had said, so you want tax without income. But of course, it was only an example. But now coming to this point, the issue here will come when they would like to have children. Though the law recognizes they will not be illegitimate children, but then it is a great uncertainty that, that relationship may break at any time. It doesn't have a solid standing. So in India, it is happening more in metros. Metros. And the reason that I understand, there will be another reasons also. But wherever I have spoken, basically they don't want to get into the legal hassles.
Yes.
And they want that it should be as quickly, dissoluble as possible. But yes, now the generation is doing this.
Okay, and with this, sir, we are moving towards the most favorite part of yours, and that is the cricket. So, being a lawyer, आपका relationship जो है, वो cricket के साथ बहुत ज़्यादा है, and we all know this, because being on the board of BCCI, being in touch with many committees of cricket, वो एडवोकेट होने से आप कैसे क्रिकेट में आपने एंटर किया और वो पूरा जो सफर था वो हमें जानना है, बिकॉज ये दो प्रोफेशन जो है वो पूरे मतलब ऐसे देयर इज नो सम बॉन्डिंग और एनी रिलेशनशिप, राइट? सो
I'll tell you it is not a difficult question at all, because it is only because of being a lawyer, you enter different fields.
Okay.
Yeah. So at some point in time, I was a lawyer representing an association. Later on, I became part of it. Then, after the judgment of Honorable Supreme Court, after the report of Justice Lodha Committee, some people who had, completed their years were required to demit their office. So this is how I became. And to tell you the truth, fortunately, I feel that I am fortunate enough to be a lawyer. Lawyers are everywhere,
Okay.
whether you like it or not. No, I'm telling you right from the freedom fight, the great people, not comparable with me, the great people like Pandit Nehru, then Mahatma Gandhi ji, Lokmanya Tilak, then many of the freedom fighters were lawyers. Now also on the cricket board, there are 2-3 lawyers. Shashank, who is a lawyer.
Yes.
So there are many lawyers who are into this. There are many lawyers who are in many other social, political fields also. That is because maybe knowledge of law becomes very important when you run an organization.
Yes. Right.
And it also becomes very important that you have the communication skills, you understand some questions, you have the composure of taking it into your strides. So all those things come handy. So generally people start, this is how I have started. But I had a very good experience. I thank God for giving me this opportunity of being on the committees or to be president of the Maharashtra Cricket Association for a while. And that was a splendid experience for me. Something that I could have never asked more than that. Yeah.
So ये कब से शुरू हुआ था, मतलब at what age?
No, age wise, I was no more, I still feel I'm young, but it was at a later stage.
Okay.
Yeah, because then you have to be a lawyer for a long time, you have to conduct matters, and then there was an opportunity, this is how I got.
Okay.
And then few things that I have noticed there, like there can be a question or a perception, oh, you were there, because a lot of glamour is attached to cricket,
Of
basically.
course. Yes.
A lot of glamour is attached. So people feel, oh, you were there. But from a close distance, what I have seen is that it is an absolutely professionally managed body.
Okay.
I was a very small person there, but then it is a completely professionally managed body.
Okay.
It is an auto-run to that extent. And then what wealth, what richness you see today, people do say that, oh, it is a cozy club or something.
That was my upcoming question.
Good. So people do feel that it is like that, and maybe they are justified because they see from a distance. But if you see the history, there was a time when, the famous singer was required to have concert for, sponsoring or felicitating the World Cup winner team. That was the plight in 1983.
Okay.
There was a time when the budget was in deficit. There was a time when Doordarshan used to take 5 lakhs of rupees per match from the board for showing it.
Oh.
But then, thanks to the great administrators that this board had, the visionaries, many, in fact all of them till today, including Dalmia ji or so many people, were selling the media right privately is today the key, the success of getting so much of money.
Of course.
And moreover, the passion of Indians for this game is too much.
tremendous.
It's too much. It's all over the world.
Yes.
It's not only in India. You see, wherever Indian team is playing all over the world,
The stadium is full.
the stadium is full. The concerned boards will be begging that please have one more match, please have 2 more matches, because it is only through Indians that this money is generated. And so rightfully, the Indians have that stake, that supremacy in this game.
So India is a superpower in cricket?
Yeah, I mean, rather than saying, not saying, admitting, not admitting, it is true in both the parts now.
Okay.
I think in cricketing skills, they are the World Cup winners. And yes, financially, they are much better than others, basically because of their professionalism.
Okay.
And also because of the passion. And that passion is not only from rich people.
Okay.
If you ask me, who is the real supporter of this game, a person who is standing on a street
Okay.
and watching the match, being shown inside a shop,
Right.
और a person जो पान ठेले पे खड़ा है और रेडियो कमेंट्री सुनता है, they are the real contributors, they are the real subscribers to this game. As there are many like this, the advertisement would come.
सर जब हम क्रिकेट के बारे में बात करते हैं तो अभी एक कॉमन मैन का जो पर्सपेक्टिव आता है, देयर आर मेनी कंट्रोवर्सीज अबाउट दिस टॉपिक एंड द टॉपिक इज फिक्सिंग एंड बेटिंग. क्योंकि जब भी कुछ भी होता है मैच में हम देखते हैं कि अगर हमारे हिसाब से मैच नहीं चल रहा है वी फील दैट इट इज अ फिक्सिंग और देयर आर सम काइंड ऑफ अदर थिंग्स इन्वॉल्वड इन दैट क्रिकेट. सो व्हाट आर योर व्यूज ऑन फिक्सिंग एंड बेटिंग?
I think you have decided to create controversies today. But let me tell you that these controversies do not survive. In the sense that you only said that match agar aapke tarike se nahi hua to you feel there is a fixing.
Yes.
See, these are two different aspects. As I understand, the board, Indian cricket and worldwide, they have zero tolerance as far as the fixing is concerned.
Okay.
And very practically speaking, it is very difficult also. All 11 players doing the same thing or doing something like that. But let us keep that issue aside because that is being debated in the court, that is being debated everywhere. Some players are also being punished. Two things I would like to say. One is that there is no comprehensive law which can take care of such issues. There has to be. A sports bill was placed, then it was also debated. Some parts have come, but there has to be a very, very comprehensive law which will take care, because otherwise what happens is it comes under cheating.
Yes.
And then it is a very normal way of dealing with this issue. Nothing happens, they will be acquitted. So that is the need, that there should be a very clear special legislation for it. As far as betting is concerned, many countries have allowed that. Not that we are trying to, go out of way and support it, but it has been permissible in some countries. The committee which was appointed to give recommendations to the board, Indian board, that is Justice Lodha committee, they had also said that we should consider legalizing it. This is being said because there is almost a parallel economy. Why parallel economy? Nobody knows how much money is involved,
right.
But estimated some lakhs of crores of rupees get circulated in this betting. And this is what is the information. And then it is in the hands of all antisocial elements.
Right.
So one argument in favor of that was that we can get this money into the mainstream. We can have better sanctions of doing this. And there will also be a revenue. There will also be the money coming into the mainstream.
Yes.
And these antisocial elements will be curbed. So some bills are pending before the parliament for doing it. But there is also a moral issue involved into this. And political parties may not like to get into it. Because per se betting is not something which is recommended. Though पुराण काल से betting है, द्यूत है, सब आपको पता है. But then this is not something which is good. So this is the dilemma in which it is there. So when good things happen, there will be some controversies also. But I think as far as betting is concerned, the process is that the bills are being tabled. I don't know what is the future or what is the further developments because I am not following it. But these are two different issues. The first part, as you say, is something which can never be tolerated. But second, it is under active consideration that anyways when people do, as a lawyer, there are many judgments like even today, some aapka team fix karo, it's happening, and Supreme Court has also identified it at some element of sport, some element of intelligence is required. So these are the two areas. Yeah.
And also now moving towards the another track of the conversation, that is the educational part. Because you are also on the board of Educational Institute in the Pune. So कुछ उसके बारे में भी आपसे हम क्वेश्चन करना चाहेंगे, कुछ पूछना चाहेंगे. And the thing is, sir, the most common question, I'm going to ask a very common question because the people who are watching this podcast, they need to know common questions which will hit the roots of each and every topic. So, सर क्या आपको लगता है जो इंडिया में एजुकेशन सिस्टम चल रहा है या फिर एजुकेशनल पूरा सेक्टर जो है, इट इज इन नॉट पार विद द वर्ल्ड एजुकेशन इफ वी कंपेयर इंडिया विद अनदर कंट्रीज, एंड इफ यस देन दैट रीजन, क्या वही रीजन है जिसकी वजह से आज जो हमारे इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट में जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं पूरे, दे आर विलिंग टू गो अब्रॉड फॉर द स्टडीज?
Yes, to great extent, you have touched a very important aspect of common people. क्योंकि हर एक आदमी को अपने बच्चों को एडमिशन दिलाना होता है.
Yes.
And sometimes if he doesn't have that much of money, big money, he feels sorry that मैं मेरे बच्चे के लिए कुछ नहीं कर सका. He doesn't feel sorry कि मेरे बच्चे ने मार्क्स नहीं लाए, but he feels sorry that I never had this much of money.
Right.
See, there are two things which are there, even on earlier subject, I would say the same thing. Having good decisions and implementing them are two different things.
Okay.
We always have some ideal, noble, very, very good thoughts, good systems, but implementation is zero.
Yes.
So, today if you see worldwide, as per my knowledge, the top ranking universities are not there in India.
Okay.
Yeah, they I mean, not many, not no, in fact many. So what is the difference? Difference, first we will have to understand that we have got such a huge population that we have to cater to their need.
Okay.
Pausing here for a moment, this is my estimation, I may be completely wrong. But the people who will rule this country, the people who will progress this country, the people who will take this country ahead, will come from very small villages.
Okay.
And that has to be our education. That is the class where the education has to go. You know, getting admission in some very famous high-flying institutions where the fees that is being paid for 7th standard or 8th standard, two common families will, will have adequate money for the year. So this is not the area where we should. We have to concentrate on those people who are in small villages, and they should get educated. They should get better education. They should get better facilities. They will come up and compete, and maybe they are going to stay here. So because today what is happening, the education given in the top universities, not all, but many of them are going out. They will have their reasons. They feel that here they don't get proper justice to their merit. The system is politicalized. So many things they may have. So I think today, if the government is interfering into this, if that is the subject on their list, then it should be done more professionally. Because if you run an institute, you understand that there are so many sanctions required, there are so many things required, and then at times, my principal, earlier principal where I was educated, used to say that whatever comes into education in 80s and 90s, we will start talking about it today. So we have to update, especially with technology, it is very easy. It is very easy to do that. But I think out of all the areas, the great pleasure comes through working in education.
Yes.
Because that is where you see the next generation going up. And moreover, that is basic. That is a basic need where we need to concentrate more. Like we can only say that we have got industries, we have got factories, we have got shops, we have got so much of money, we have got gold stores. But unless your education is good, I don't think that's a true prosperity. And unfortunately, even budget-wise, even attention-wise, it is always being said that education doesn't get the share that they should.
Okay.
So I think with the new education policies, things would change again if they are implemented, not just by making yeah.
So do you think in upcoming few years, the educational system of India will reach the limits? And क्या ऐसा हो सकता है कि जैसे अभी Indian students they are willing to go outside, क्या Indian education इस level पे जा सकता है जहाँ पर the students in the foreign countries they will wish to come in India in the top institutes?
See, that can happen. Only when it will happen cannot be said.
Okay.
See, Why people go abroad? For 2 3 things. One is they have got one part, I don't say all, they have got ready-made business. They want their son to have some degree and come back.
Yes, yes.
Either they are doctors or they are industrialists, whatever it is. Second is the fees being asked in Indian universities is so high
So, right.
that they end up spending less when they go abroad.
Okay.
And third class is where their intelligence is very high and the type of education that they want to get, they want to take, is not readily available in India.
अच्छा.
This is the third class. But first two classes are also there. You see, majority of the university, you see Australia, you see some other countries, income from foreign students is one of the major incomes for them.
Oh.
So now that they are stopping immigration or controlling it, the universities will have tough time because people go for different courses which perhaps they may not use in their life, and what jobs they do there is again altogether a different thing. But just because people have money, Asians especially, the universities are there. So I think your question was that why they are going. They are going for all three reasons.
ओके सो क्या हम बोल सकते हैं इंडिया ऐसे नहीं तो ऐसे, क्रिकेट से नहीं तो एजुकेशन से वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमी को चला रहा है.
No, India, why? यहाँ से, no doubt, India is now the country to reckon with.
Yes.
Development कहाँ है? खाली इंडिया में. I was talking to someone, a friend who had come, and he says we also invest there, we also invest in our country, an original Indian but now a foreigner. But all the money comes to India, he says. Why? Because for investment, growth is in India.
Yes.
I am not an economist, but this much I can definitely tell you.
So sir, हमने बहुत तीन टॉपिक्स यहाँ पे एक्सप्लोर किए थे. फर्स्ट वाज अबाउट द लॉ, द सेकंड वाज अबाउट द फेवरेट टॉपिक क्रिकेट, एंड एजुकेशनल को भी हमने बहुत ज्यादा एक्सप्लोर किया. बट ड्यू टू सम टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट वी हमने एक क्या बोलते हैं, हर एक कैटेगरी का कोर हमने आपसे ट्राई किया कि हम आपको पूछ सकते हैं. So we are coming towards the end of the Think Talks podcast show. I hope so, sir. आपको अच्छा लगा होगा हमारे शो पर आकर के.
बहुत अच्छा लगा. और more or see, I am not an expert in all these fields. My only plus point is that I am aware of it.
Okay.
So I know that I cannot talk with lot of authority in any of these subjects, but yes, I have worked, I have some knowledge. I am aware of where I stand. And it was such a great pleasure talking to you, and I wish you all the best, and I hope this is also liked by people.
Sure.
Thank you
sir.
so
और
much.
जरूर हम हर एक टॉपिक के बारे में सीरीज भी आगे लेके आएंगे.
जरूर.
We will fix some other podcast and we will have more
sure.
episodes with you.
Sure.
Thank you, sir, for being on. Thank you.
Thank you.